timestamps, you know, post-match review, 2:31:10. Now, where do I start? The good, bad, the ugly, you know? I don't know where to start, people. Like, I'm not really vexed that we've lost as much as you can be. I never want to lose. I never want to lose to Spurs. All of them sort of things, they're self-explanatory. What I am upset about or what I'm annoyed about is actually the positive, actually. Ben White and Lokonga look very good. But that scares me. Why is it always the new Donnies? In the same way, in that game, really and truly, we're lucky to only lose 1-0. Let's be real. How much times did Spurs hit that post? You know, that post, I can't lie, that post defended better than Marie today. I'm being real with it. Like, that post helped us. You know, we Spurs on the face of it deserved to win. They weren't amazing, but they started off better than us. They were largely in control of the game. They had us camped in our own half for large periods and things like that. They were the stronger side. You know, they looked like a team. They weren't amazing, as I said, you know. But they look like a team they've got a new manager where it's concerning that they look like they got more of a blueprint than us. I don't want to read too much into it. Then also on top of that, they look like a team where everybody, as I said at the start, goes back to zero. You know, players that always were playing for Spurs, even if Son's complacent, you start patterning up because your spot's on the line. Players that might not have been involved, like Dele Alli, not that he was amazing, you start patterning up because you might get a chance. You know, all I wanted to do is see an improvement. Do I think we look like a better team than the team that started against Hibernian? No. Yes, people have been changed. Yes, it wasn't a full strength side, but I can't sit here and like, this is our first game. I mean, our last game until our first game in the season, and we're going to play a very jubilant Brentford side that's going to be relishing it. Everything they worked for last season was to get them to that point. You know, now they're going to go out and enjoy it. And let's be real, they're a championship team. You cannot get out of the championship without being experienced, without being street smart. And when you do the naiveties that we have done throughout the whole of preseason, through set pieces, you know, through, you know, the cheap goals we're conceding, the sequences in play, they're going to eat us alive. And it doesn't get any easier from them in no order. We've got the Cities, we've got the Chelseas, we've got all of these things. My manager cried about preseason. I've seen our preseason. I haven't seen building blocks. I haven't seen light at the end of the tunnel. I haven't seen foundations put into place. I speak for most rational fans when I say all the problems that Arsenal have, I am never expecting us to fix it in Brentford, against Brentford. You know, you only really see the fruits of your preseason labor mid-season. But we don't look like a better team than last season now. Hopefully, it's a fairy tale thing. It's a rubbish preseason. We go off and get Europe. It looks good in the Amazon documentary and all of those things. But reality is, what scares me is obviously that's a whole nother live stream. We could sit here and talk about the lack of business, the unsolved questions, what's going on with certain individuals. But from a sporting perspective, it was very naive today. Or how I don't even know. Bro, I live in England. I don't even know if this makes grammar sense or whatever. This makes sense, but what is concerning me is we're very naive, especially when we've lost the ball. Our regroupment, like how we regroup and get back into position and who engages the attacker first, is very naive. You know, that is very naive. We're very naive with balls over the top. You know, simple passes over the top. Davison Sanchez, little balls over the top. Ben White switched on, but Ben White can't defend alone. We're being killed with that. There's still too much gaps. It's like against Chelsea, there was too much gaps. It was too naive on the counter, and it only gets worse from then because we're playing Brentford and these things. You know, yeah, it hurts to lose to Chelsea and Spurs and come last in this mind games, but what I more care about is what we're doing in these games. The positives, if there were any from Chelsea, did we take them into this? I can't say I saw that. The negatives and things we need to work on, did we work on it? I can't say I saw that. And yes, I'm not going to cry, but there's no organization, there's no game management, there's naivety. Yes, there's going to be games you start off slow, or you need to grow into the game, or you start well and then flutter. But too often than not, that's the thing, because from the first minute, literally, we've kicked off and given the ball away within 30 seconds of that. That's an issue. You know, Spurs for large periods, we could not get out of our own half. We could not move the ball around. Like I said, we was on the back, and this is the worst Spurs side you've seen in recent years. Their captain's trying to escape. You know, it's the worst Spurs team you've seen in a hot second. So again, I'm not reading too much into it, but as I said, the man management, the game management, the organization, the fact that it's the same old individuals that are showing for the ball and that are excelling are issues. You know, there's a lack of creativity. We're very naive on the counter attack, offensively and defensively. There's no ideas in the final third. Ultimately, what have we worked on in preseason? Our set pieces look dodgy. Like, what have we worked on? What have we worked on? What are we doing so that we can build upon? Like I said, I'm not asking for us to be amazing, but the whole point of preseason is that there is building blocks. What happened this game? We're working on it next game and things like that. And all I've seen, as you can see here, people, is naive goals all preseason. Let me share my screen very quickly. You know, all preseason, we were doing nonsense against Rangers. Fair enough, there was young keepers and things, but the set pieces and the goal we conceded, individual mistakes. The same thing happened against Hibernian. The same, in no order, the same thing happened against Spurs. The same thing happened against Chelsea. Yeah, we beat Watford, but the same thing happened against Watford. Even if you want to be real with that Watford game, when they looked a bit better when they started playing the serious man. They only look dodgy when they're playing all their kids and stuff. So again, I'm not saying, even if we won all of this, I'm not saying this to read much into it, but in these 6 games, I haven't seen anything. I don't want to see no articles on the Athletic and all these things about, yeah, my man in the last season, he used to stand 2 meters near the line. Now he's standing 3 meters near the line. That's what Arteta is trying to do. I need to see evidence. And like I said, building blocks. If I have a little kid and he's struggling, like my unborn son, and he's struggling with his timetables, but I'm teaching him he's still not amazing, but he's getting better. There's the encouragement there, is it not, people? He's not all the way there yet, but he's improving. I'm not asking for us to play like world beaters. I would love it because we finished 8th. But of all the teams that we've bought, Chelsea just needed a striker. They're looking serious. Spurs, man, are saying they're going to have a tough season. And I don't want to read too much into it. And I ain't following their preseason. But they look like there's a bit more of a plan. What have we done in preseason? We still look like we're on holiday mode, and people need to wake up, because as much as it's about tactics, it's about mentality as well. And there's an issue, man. You know, there's an issue because we have to start. We have to start well. Look, even against Millwall, we beat Millwall. You know, and I haven't written it down there, but that we struggle to clear our lines, and then they pull it in the back of the net. It's unconvincing. And again, and off the backdrop of that, you know, on a sporting perspective, I don't really see what's going on. You know, the new players are the only ones that look decent, and how long's that gonna last? Like we've seen with Gabriel and Partey, at some point people revert to type. You know, there's still question marks under what's going on in the squad, really and truly. You know, no significant additions. No real encouragement signs. Again, narratives can change. You start the season off well, you win 2 of those 3 games, the narratives change. But this is the thing with football. People like to rush themselves to thinking everything's all negative, everything's all positive. People want to bury their heads in the sand. I'm pretty sure in this chat, in this live chat as we speak, it's all doom and gloom, or some people are saying it's just pre-season, where they're both not right, they're both not wrong. It's in the middle, you know. And it's concerning. It's really concerning, because again, you're looking at the Smith Rowe. Saka missed a couple of chances today. Smith Rowe was involved. You know, Tavares just come off the bench. You know, Ben White was decent. And I spoke about Lokonga. It's these young players that are looking like they're getting it more, you know. Still looking like we're on holiday mode, and it scares me, because these lot think they can just turn up and just think, yeah, because we won it this game. You need to win it every game. 38 times you need to win it. That's why we're good for the occasional winning the big games, and fans get their little bant and we revert to type. These lot don't want it enough. These lot are very naive and under something that believes that they can just half turn. You need to apply yourself. And the beautiful thing is, everything you do in the dirt comes to light. You can tell us till you're blue in the face what you're doing in pre-season. Fans are allowed back in the stadiums. The season is coming back. So if it looks shaky, we're not working on stuff. Well, if we're working on stuff, we're not doing stuff. We're not our front. There's no confidence in our front three. There's no service. There's no midfield. You know, we're moving mad. Like, we're moving very mad. So, again, I'm not trying to be negative. I can only comment on what I see. You know, again, I'm not reading too much into the Spurs game. We lost the Spurs. Okay, cool. It is what it is. But away from that, thinking about what we need to apply ourselves and to do next season, it's a problem. If Spurs had their shooting boots, you're out of that game in the first 20. There's an issue in there. There's an absolute problem there. So we'll have to see what happens in that regard.